No hat. I want to see all of that face.
It seemed like we ain't did this in a minute.
I know.
Love and Business on Lock podcast. Season 3.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to figure out if I should have on a hat or not. And
glasses, no glasses.
Ms. Vaughn said no hat. So
glasses, no glasses.
I don't have a hat.
I'm on my Elvira today.
I am not freshly shaved.
You don't care? I'm on my Elvira today.
No, I see.
Mm. So listen, season 3. I see
you got the lip wet on.
Yeah. Season 3. So I wanted us to set a vibe today.
That's a vibe.
Yes, a vibe. You know why? Because we have one of our favorite couples. So what better song than this? No?
Can they hear
you
it?
Like a dance? Yes. Trust me, I'm a professional. I tested this. Thank you. Do you see that? Do you see the backstage? Do you see how guys? Do you see him? Oh, can they hear it? What about it? What? No.
Look, you
come on, Mr. DJ.
You giving all the energy today. You giving all the energy today.
You hear what the seasons are saying? You want all my love, don't you? No. Okay, I'll just bring out guests. No, you are so. You are so dry.
I'm letting everything. I'm letting it handle its handle. You in control today.
When's the first time you heard the song?
My father.
You know, first time I heard it, it was at one of my family Christmas.
What album is this?
I don't know all of that. You know, I'm only 24. All right, let's bring out guests.
Okay.
I just want to play it a little longer. Maybe we bring our guests in and bring them in. You hear this, Dr. T? Do you hear this, Dr. T? You hear this, right?
Hey, we ready. We ready over here, Jay. I don't know what you're doing over there.
All the energy today. Y'all giving me all the energy today. This one caught me by surprise. The music caught me by surprise.
We got you.
So dry.
Happy season 3.
Congratulations on season 3, guys.
Hey.
Yeah, hey, listen, I'm telling you, this music caught me off guard.
But you're the DJ.
I know.
It's the fact that you did the music and it wasn't him. That's what it was.
No, you know what? But she knows the songs and she knows the songs and things that I like. I don't know. I wasn't expecting it. It was like, ha ha, here you go, ha ha, ha ha.
You are so weird.
She got you.
You know what I mean? Ha ha. Y'all wasn't expecting it.
I was just trying to bring some good
energy
into our lives.
You're doing really well.
Real well.
Yeah, we are staying busy, doing a whole lot of work together and separately. So things are going really
just
well.
Grinding.
Right.
We're like professional clowns in the circus. We're juggling all these different tasks and deliverables, trying not to drop any of them. You know.
Listen, I overstand,
and we just kind of just do it. Like it's almost second nature. You know what I'm saying? It's just second nature, and we are definitely doing a juggling act over here. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As well, it's definitely a juggling act, but really wouldn't probably have it any other way. And it's crazy because when I was just telling somebody, you work for yourself, you actually work a lot harder, than you would, for somebody else. But the whole goal is to get residual and to have that money coming in eventually without you having to do the work.
That's right. We are striving and working hard now, so we don't have to work hard for a long time.
Right.
Yep.
That is
I think I'm always going to be a hard worker. It's just who I am. It's in my DNA.
Right.
But where I park and hang out to do the work, that type of work going to be a whole lot more fun.
Okay, I got it.
A whole lot more rewarding and satisfying.
Yeah, right. I don't want my work to feel like work.
It should never. And if you do what you love, it should never feel like work. You know what I'm saying?
It might be a labor of love, but it won't be like a burden,
Right.
Yeah.
And we're working to get our time back. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really the key.
All right, Maxine, you trying to reclaim your time? Reclaim your time.
Oh yeah, but it was some of the stuff. She was really good, but it was some of the stuff I didn't agree with when she did.
What you're not gonna do is get people in my email.
Okay.
Nobody. Yeah, no,
it was just it was a great speech.
How about we end that, because I don't feel like those emails.
So
that's not the drama I want.
Okay. So we can't say what we were really feeling.
No, you can, but not on Auntie Max.
No, but I don't. I'm saying it was a great speech.
Okay.
It was just one thing I didn't agree with. That's it. That's okay.
Mm-hmm. Love Business on Lock. Can you believe it was last year that we spoke?
Listen, I think we ended up doing 2 of them really close together because we just vibed so well. So this was it last year?
That's what I'm saying. I said the same thing, T.
They weren't on season 2. They were on the week before Candace and Chris and the week after Candace and Chris.
That was before.
That was we started in November, Jay. Trust me, I know all.
Yeah, it's been a while. So it may not have been 12 months, but it was last year, I guess. Yeah, that makes sense.
So what's going on? What's new with the Richardsons?
Wow. So you want to talk about Real Relationships?
Well, we launched Real Relationships as of January 1st, which is.
Let me pause you right there. That's how I know it was last year, because they were getting ready to launch Real Relationships when we first talked to them. Continue.
There you go. Bam.
Okay.
I said okay. Okay. Yeah. I'm just here today. That's it. I'm just here today. I should hold my cigar because I just here. I'm let her handle it.
So have been really, really exciting. A lot of fun with this group that we just launched in January. It's a combination of real men and real women combined. So Nikki does real women. I do real men. Real Relationships is for men and women from all walks of life. Doesn't matter if you're married, single, or dating. The whole premise and the purpose of Real Relationships is for men and women to be intentional with getting better on purpose in their relationships. So we talk about tips, tools, and techniques every month during the last Wednesday of the month when we have a 1-hour video, a Facebook Live recording, and we call those 101s. So the last Wednesday of every month at 7 o'clock, we have a 101 on a particular topic or theme.
They've been hot too.
And we started with the content from the feedback from our group members as we post questions in the group, about this or that. And we kind of, aggregate that information and then come up with themes. And
so we've been talking about like boundaries, communication, sex, cheating, infidelity, conflict resolution. Right. So this month it's June 23rd, I believe. It's
I don't know if the Africa trip.
We might be able to do it. Yeah. So every last Wednesday of the month, and if we have thankfully hundreds of folks, almost 1,000 folks who are in there. But you join the group and you get an automatic invite and reminder to attend. It's the last Wednesday of every month at 7 p.m. And that's just the live session that we do every month. But every week we roll out a question of the week. So if anybody has been asking questions in the group, we pose questions, and then we have a whole lot of fun in the group with some funny, just talking back and forth about relationships. It's been really fruitful for us.
It has been.
Yeah.
It really has been.
It's helped us to grow together in just talking through the stuff we're living, like what's working for us that we can share with other folks, not just other couples, but folks who are in relationship right now or who want to be in the future, or just as it relates to their relationships with family members and kids. Like we got all of that. All of those relationships matter, and we want to get better with all of that. So that's why it's Real Relationships and not just real marriage or real singles, because we want to get better with all of our relationships.
Do you guys see the question at the bottom?
Ooh, let's see. How do you join? Yes, I just saw it. Hey. So you do a search for Real Relationships. It's really the only one that pops up once you do a search for all of it. But let me see, while we're talking, I'll see if I can put it. Oh, it's a private chat. So Real Relationships is the group.
No, you can actually put it in the chat and I can post it.
Okay.
Yep, you can actually put it in and I can post it.
And just to shed some additional light on what Nikki was sharing, the group Real Relationships, it's also about, there's certain principles, precepts, and theories that work in leadership, right? When you're an effective communicator, if you're an entrepreneur or CEO, well, that'll enable you to be a better communicator if you're a husband or if you're a father, right? If you have a unique relationship with an adult child. So there are some principles that we share from our business background that are proof positive and value added in any relationship.
Yeah. Okay. So we've been having a lot of fun with it. And I put it in the chat. Did you? I don't know if you.
Yeah, I actually posted it. I actually posted it.
Yep. You'll be able to see, I think if you just put Real Relationships in the search for Facebook, you'll be able to see it. And we're growing. So as we grow, we're going to do some in-person stuff, some 201s.
So everything we do right now, on the last Wednesday, those are called 101s. So we're exposing our audience of about right now, we're right around 1,000 members, which is pretty good considering we just launched. We're exposing them to our content. And the reason we're only doing it 1 month, one session a month, is because we don't want to give away all the goodies, every single week during an hour, which we could do.
We a business, man.
You know what? I mean, even now, even with, you guys being on this platform with us, it is just like you said, you guys learn from, what you do with your folks. We learn as well as you guys being the guests, and even we're doing this to give folks food.
Yeah,
we give food in turn as well. You know, so
that's good.
It's a blessing. The platform.
It's definitely a give and take. Absolutely.
Yeah, what I will say is, honestly, I said originally that we were going to take a month off, and that's because we're launching a radio station. However,
congrats.
However, what I began to feel was that if we didn't get back into it, it was getting bad, and I know that therapy is something that someone to the right of me doesn't agree with. However, this is a form of therapy. So who better to have on for the first show of the 3rd season than you guys?
Well, we are ready. We're here at your disposal. Yes, we are. And I agree with you. I think the more intentional we are as couples, just, speaking specifically about couples now, the more intentional we are about reflecting on and thinking about our relationship and talking about it, even if it's because it's helped us too, right? We've had to hold each other accountable for some things because we've been talking about it. And so it helps to keep the conversation going. You're right. It doesn't, as Jay said, it doesn't just help the folks listening. It helps those of us who are sharing as well.
I think a lot of our one-on-one sessions are therapeutic for us, as well as based on the comments and the feedback and the DMs and the level of engagement we're getting from our audience. People just absolutely love what we're doing and find it very, very, very rewarding for them.
And because you said that it's been challenging, I just want to offer this, and then I'm sure you have some stuff you want to discuss. But I believe that when you have decided, and I'm talking to both of you all and acknowledging it for ourselves, when you have decided to help people in a certain area, that's a specific area that you're going to be tested in. Right. So you're going to be tested and tried, and you're going to have challenges in that area, not just because everybody has challenges, but because you are striving to pour into other people in that area. It's almost like, all of the things that could happen in a relationship, could possibly pop up in yours as a result of you sharing it. And so you just have to stay, whether it's prayed up or counseled up or really just communicating with each other. So
intentional.
That
I think the word is, you have to be very, very intentional, right? If you do the same thing over and over and over and expect a different outcome, of course, that would be crazy.
Yeah.
Right. You want a different outcome in business with your bottom line, with your net operating return, right? Your NOI, your net operating income, I'm sorry. You have to do something different, right? So good data in equals good data out. Intentionality on the inside, on the outside generates output, measurable outcomes. So you can have measurable outcomes in a business and measurable outcomes in a relationship, right? In terms of, let's just say your emotional safety and security. How safe do you feel, right? That can be measured. If somebody say, you know what, I can't trust this mammal for nothing, you know what I'm saying? Or I don't feel safe, I don't feel secure, right? Well, somebody saying that's a byproduct of their beliefs and their core values. That can be measured by way of their level of anxiety, their level of stress. So measurable outcomes.
Right. And I never thought about it like that. What I do know is, like I said, this helps because and I may get in trouble for saying this, but for me, talking to a quote unquote therapist doesn't necessarily work for me, even though I've talked and we've accomplished some things doing that route. But for me, this works for me a lot better. It works for me because it's real. It's real. It's us opening up. It's you guys opening up, and we having a real conversation and some real dialogue about things that happen, not just somebody, analyzing what's going on. It's us giving each other food, the mental food, which works wonders, I think, for me and for us. I think, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think
passing the iron sharpening iron.
Exactly.
We sharpen, we give it to you. Y'all sharp, toss it back. Iron sharpening iron.
And I'll say this about that, Jay. I love that you're honest about it, and it isn't everybody's thing. It isn't everybody's thing. And we are, even though we are proponents of counselors, we're proponents of good counselors that match, your needs.
Yeah, and not Sister Green who got a calling at the church. Right? Don't have no training, not taking nothing from nobody's calling, right? Because I know there's some spiritual people out there. But I'm talking, in the context of our conversation, we're talking about very practical, right? If because sometimes, especially in our community, we don't really seek counseling or therapeutic services because a lot of us haven't been exposed to it.
And I think that's changing. And so what I'll say is I know that we are proponents of a good counselor that matches your needs.
Right.
But I agree with you that many of us don't have relationships with couples that we feel like, we can really be honest with, and we can really pose good questions and get good feedback, good honest feedback, wise counsel. And not because anybody's perfect on the other side. It's just, that each couple is striving. And like you said, Jay, it's a real conversation that you can have. So I think both and.
So
because I know Kaz has a lot for you guys, but I just want to piggyback that this last thing, and I'm gonna let her take back control. It's for me, it is the same thing that we talk about a lot, and we talk about value in a relationship. We speak about that a lot, and we have cut folks off, not for anything. It's just at the end of the day, there has to be some value in a relationship. If I'm no value to you guys, I don't expect you to keep me around either. And not necessarily I need anything from you, but just the conversation has to have some value. It doesn't matter who is, where we are economically or, in our career wise. Just that, again, Greg, like you said, it's about, sharpening each other. So the value has to be there. I don't want to be around you or anybody else if there's no value, and you shouldn't want to be around me, because this is what we're striving to be, better people and better in life, in business, in relationship, in family, just spiritually, financially, we are striving to be better. So if there's no value, then let me get some get some value around me, So
this is to you, my brother, because I feel the same way. I've coined it as this: I have to be giving or getting. I have to be giving something to somebody or getting something from somebody. So if I'm in any context, any environment, and I'm not giving or getting, what I know is I'm not supposed to be there, right? Because I'm very focused on where it is I want to go, what it is I want to do, the goals I need to check off, right? Everything I want to do, I'm familiar with. So, and I know I don't have time to waste. So if I'm not getting something or getting something, giving or getting, I got to be on one of those ends. If that doesn't happen, then for me, I just know, you know what? It's not best. It's probably ideal for me not to be here.
Right.
I say they on the same page, child.
So this is for you, brother. That's for you, my man.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Uh-oh.
Miss Lady, you got the floor.
So I wanted to say something about the whole circle. I'm gonna transition to balance. And you guys have been married for quite some time. What's the importance? Did you hear it? I'm sorry. What's the importance in balance in a relationship?
Ooh. Well, I'll start off with, at the top of the hour, I mentioned professional clowns. We were like being professional clowns, like juggling, right? The art and science to juggling is learning how to touch everything and get it back in rotation, right? So in order to be successful and not drop anything, you can't hold on to certain things. Now, there's certain things that may require you to hold on a little longer when you have a whole bunch of different competing priorities. So when you're juggling, it may require you to use more energy to toss that thing that you're touching further up in the air, so you have more time to hold on to the thing that you're currently dealing with. So the key to being successful at juggling is learning how to touch everything and get it back in rotation. When it comes to relationships and boundaries, it's really important to understand, okay, what am I touching that I need to hold on to longer? I may need to get something else in rotation. So I appreciate your level of transparency when you indicated that you guys took a break because you just needed to take a break, right? It could have been with all the different priorities, all the different deliverables and tasks that you're dealing with. When it came to your relationship, which is something that's juggling, it's in the air with everything else, you could have realized, you know what? Here's us, but I'm only touching it for a short time and not really developing this particular priority. So as a result, maybe I need to hold on to it a little longer, right? And get something else in the air higher so I can hold on to this longer. Or taking things out of rotation while you're juggling.
So I'll speak to it in another way. When I think of balance in relationships, and whether it's love and business and trying to stay married, we've been married. That's what we were interjecting. We've been married for 21 years. September will be 22 years. Woo, right? So a long time.
Lord,
and so because of that, this is what I know. Everything in life happens in seasons.
That girl, that's my wife.
Everything in life happens in seasons. And so I understand the word balance, and I understand what we're talking about when we talk about it, but I conceptualize it in seasons because I honestly will never be able to like Greg was saying, it's juggling. So I'm never going to be able to hold work at the same level that I'm holding my relationship, at the same level that I'm holding my kids, at the same level that I'm holding my business. So because of that juggle he referenced, it's seasonal. So there's a time and a season, like during our anniversary time, it's just we carve out time like it's for us. On the weekends, intention. So on the weekends or date night or whatever, we carve out times for us. That's the season for that. Our son is in a tween season right now. So there's a whole lot of attention being paid to him right now because he is in his tweens. And so that's the season that we're in. We're building real So I like to look at it like, you know, maybe my focus has to be here a bit more in this season. But like Greg said, I'm not ignoring any of the other balls I'm juggling. It's a conversation that we have to have.
And that's the key part.
That this is the season that I'm in. I'm really busy with this. And we have a conversation about it, so we're aware of where we are. Does that make sense, Kese?
It actually makes a ton of sense, and I was just really, I was really taking everything that you were saying in, because complete transparency, I feel like that we have our balance is not where it should be, you know?
Right. Yeah.
And I was really ingesting everything that you were saying, because I was just, what I know is that the last time we talked to you guys, we took a lot from what you said, you know, because you give a lot of information. And so I was listening to you guys talk about how you have to intentionally carve out like date night, and intentionally carve out, you know, time for yourself, and intentionally pay attention to your son who's going through the tween stage. And so I was listening to it and just like kind of trying to see where we were with.
Yeah.
But let me say this real quick.
We both burning. We both burning.
We both burning. We on fire. So let me just say this. So the key to what Nikki just said, what that is anchored and embedded in is effective communication, right? Because if you're not talking about it, like when she said seasons, right? Like we check in with each other, and sometimes, like, you know, Nikki's supposed to be she was out of the country last month or a couple of months ago.
A few months ago.
A couple of months ago. Supposed to be going out of the country again in 2 weeks. I mean, she got projects going on. I have projects going on. We both doing all these different things. The idea is we have to find time to talk and to connect with each other.
That's so good.
Right? We have to be intentional, just to say, okay, and this is where I call it rhythm. You got to find your rhythm. Like there's sex rhythm, there's communication rhythm, right? I like it in the morning, right? Nikki like it at night. But at the end of the day, when it comes to finding that rhythm for communication, you have to be intentional to say, okay, well, listen, I know there's a lot going on right now. I even told Nikki today, I know I'm getting on your nerves probably a little bit. And I was
like, I think I'm getting on your nerves more than you getting on my nerves.
And I said to myself, she ain't lying. That's what I said to myself.
That was a conversation today.
That was today, right? But the point is, you have to be intentional about being intentional.
Talking about it.
You have to be intentional
about
being intentional, right? You have to say, okay, listen, let's just unplug. Let's turn our phone. Let's talk, even if it's just for 15 minutes. Let's just calibrate, right? Let's recalibrate, re-anchor, refocus, and maybe even restructure some of our time. So here's the beauty of relationships in business. there's only 24 hours in every day.
We know that.
We already know that
jump.
right out the gate. So
Right.
if you go based on science, you should sleep minimum 7 to 8. That gives you 16 hours left. If you do a T&M time and management case study or module and figure out where you're doing your time, if you don't have no time for you to connect, so for us, that's why we intentional about date night, because we both can have our seasons where we grinding, passing each other literally in the night or in the morning, not connecting, and then the quality of the foundation that everything is built on is weakened.
And when we get to the point with like what we just said today about getting on each other's nerves, one of us will say, we must need some sex, or we must need a date night because you've been getting on my nerves a lot lately. That kind of thing, right? So,
and that's real, right?
So we're just really like
being
trying
really
to give you the real, to have an honest conversation. What I know is that we're always going to talk about it. It may.
She's not lying about that.
She
will make me talk too. I ain't lying, and I like talking.
Right.
But
it's time. So I am feeling you and whoever else is listening. And I, in addition to what Greg just said about effective communication, sometimes it takes you doing something really radical for a minute, just really radical. So maybe it's taking a couple of days off. Maybe it's, going somewhere. It's sitting down to have a conversation about what you actually need in that moment. And so I have said, what I want, what I need. I want us to go somewhere. So we're planning to go somewhere. And regardless of whether he really wants to go somewhere or not, he's like, all right, so just let me know when. It's that kind of thing.
Because that's the season that we're in right now. Yeah. We've been, I would say in the last quarter, we've been in a real busy season.
Yeah.
Where we both have been really super busy. Mm-hmm. And our date nights haven't been as consistent because we're being gracious, right? I'm being gracious to her. She's being gracious to me. But at the end of the day,
it's got to happen.
Because if it don't happen, it's going to come out of the relationship.
Mm-hmm. So how y'all doing over there? What's going on?
Here's to y'all.
Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real.
No, I get it, and it makes sense. Because it is definitely, like you said, tough to juggle a lot of stuff. Tough to juggle all these businesses, us, family, kids, parents. It's a lot. So, definitely taking in what you guys are saying. And, what I do know as well is she will communicate that, you know what I'm saying? Like she will communicate that. And, sometimes it take a second for me to get it because I'm down trying to get to it, you know what I mean? But she has no problem with, communicating that. And, we do have hard conversations. It's not like we don't. We will have hard conversations. So it's not like we don't. But it's just like I said, just really good to hear, to get the food from you guys because you guys got 20 plus years in. You know what I'm saying? So
we're working on it just like you guys are, right?
And it's nothing.
We're working on it just like you guys are.
And you guys have been through the wars, the storms, you know what I'm saying, the peaks, the valleys, and everything in between. So it is definitely it's a blessing to have you guys here to give us.
Jay, here's a tip. So in real relationships, we talk about tips, tools, and techniques. We provide tips and tools, and then we'll demonstrate or explain a particular technique, right? Based on the content. I want to encourage you, bro, whenever you having that conversation with your boo, right? And it's one of those conversations, always ask yourself, okay, what is the behavior that needs to be manifested and demonstrated to yield a different outcome? What is the behavior? So y'all have a real conversation. Y'all have that. But just know there are a lot of people who do communicate with each other.
Right.
But there's no net gain. So communication is part of it. Now you have to do something with it.
Right.
And I'll just go ahead, please. No, go ahead.
That actually was gonna be my question is what happens when you communicate very clearly, but you don't see a change, or like how do you attack that?
Yeah. So I'm an empath, so I'm feeling you over here, Cass. I'm feeling you over here. And I love what Greg just said about the do something that led to your question, because here's the thing. I'm going to take responsibility for my part in our relationship and say this. It always matters how I talk to him. It always matters how, like, the net gain or the result or the outcome or the behavior changing as a result of this conversation. It matters how I talk to him, because it could possibly shut him down or open him up to me, right? So that's one. How I talk to him matters. And I have ran the gamut. I have done all of the things that a woman would do on our end of the spectrum. And my volume is just naturally passionate and loud and all of that.
That don't work for me.
And it doesn't work for him. So and it's not like I have to come to him like a whole nother person with a hat on, like, please, sir, could you, like, I don't do that either.
Right.
But I make it very clear with my volume, tone down, paralinguistics,
which was a tool that we talked about.
Right.
And tell them what paralinguistics is.
So it's all about your tone. It's about your volume, your speed of conversation. It makes a difference in how we're communicating. That's the first thing.
So an example.
Mm-hmm.
If I say to her, I need to talk to you about something.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I hold her hand or I touch her. That's different than saying, I need to talk to you about something.
Right. Exactly.
Exact same thing.
Right.
It's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Right. But and so in addition to that, to get to your point about action, the conversation really isn't over until we agree upon something that we're going to do about it. So maybe it doesn't happen in one conversation. Maybe it's a series of conversations, but like, I'm never done until I feel like both of us are okay, right? So
and this is being honest, so we sharing too much.
We are really sharing a lot. I will come back to a conversation and be like, so let me just make sure that I'm clear about how this is going to happen from now on. Like, are we going to do it this way or that way? Or are we going to go out on this night or that night? Or are we going to are we going to put this to this? And I think he's expected it to the point now where, it's just a part of how we communicate, but we come to some resolve by the end of it. So deciding what your ground rules are from the jump about how you talk to each other. And then as a result, just have the expectation that if my partner brings something to me that bothers him or her, something has to change. Either their level of understanding about where I am has to change, or I have to make some adjustments. We have to do something together that gets us to a better place.
And that's called growth.
We don't always agree.
Like doing this,
yeah.
What you're seeing right here in this conversation, right? This is what growth looks like. This is what happens when you put in the time.
But still, it's important to note that, like, we end some conversations like, okay, so I'm not gonna understand you on this. Like,
and that's okay.
Like,
and that could be a really big deal.
I don't get it.
In the early parts of and I would just be really honest, as if it's just us and there's no camera. Right? So y'all here at our table and we all drinking and we sipping wine, right?
Right.
But once upon a time, early in our marriage, like, because we met and got married within 90 days, right? And we didn't really know each other when we got married. You guys know, in a relationship, everything can be an argument. Everything, you could make everything a big deal. You technically could argue over everything. So when you don't know somebody, like the way our foundation was, and we getting to know each other, and now we're married, we only known each other for 90 days, and now you're my wife and I'm your husband, and I'm really getting to know you, I got to figure out, okay,
Who the hell is
right? Who the hell is this? This wasn't the woman I met 90 days ago. And or is this worth fighting over?
Yeah.
Because everything can't be a big deal. In a lot of relationships, people make everything big deals.
Yeah.
They just everything can't be a monumental big deal.
Let's
right?
pause, baby. So how y'all feeling?
Right. No, listen, man, y'all giving us the food. Like it's you know what I mean? It's good. I mean, both both perspectives probably hit a lot of the stuff that we are probably thinking, and because we have this platform and we've worked on some stuff. I mean, like it is like we're light years of where we've been. We've light years. We graduated light years from where we have been. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, it is an ongoing. It's an ongoing thing. It's something that we have to work on constantly. And I think both of you guys really touched some things on both ends of the spectrum. I think T, you said some stuff that really solidified and backed up how Cass is thinking. And you also backed up some things that I'm thinking. And Greg, you did the same thing. So, I hear it, you know what I'm saying? And I think she's here. That's why she's probably so quiet, because she's really taking it in and thinking. I see smoke coming out of her head, and you know what I'm saying? She thinks, I see it. But I think that's probably why you guys were even bought here, first show, third season, because she knew that we were going to get something out of having you guys here.
Yeah.
There's a model in business called EI, emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence. That whole theory of emotional intelligence is applicable in relationships. Making sure that you're emotionally connected with your significant other, and having the wherewithal to know when you're not. Like we know when we're not hitting on 12 cylinders. We have that emotional radar, that emotional intimacy radar, right? We have that. And it's because we're being purpose driven with making sure that we stay together, right? And we grow old together. We don't think it's just going to happen without us doing our work.
Yeah.
Right. And the truth is, I think it gets better and easier every year. Right. Like we're at a point now, like it's seasonal, but we're in a point now where it's certain things we don't deal with now that we used to deal with years ago. Right. But we just don't, we're beyond that. We're both on the same page because we are connected, not just physically and spiritually and mentally, but we're connected emotionally. Right.
I want to hear where Cass is right now. I also wanted to say, I think for me, I feel safer to share what I'm really thinking, because at some points in our relationships, and I'm speaking for all of us, I think we worry that, I'll speak for women, for some women. For me, as a woman, I would worry first about being honest and pushing you away or running you away, that kind of thing. And then I would go run the other spectrum and be like, I don't care, I'm gonna say whatever I want to say, that kind of thing. So then I would go there. But the in between now is I feel safe to be vulnerable. So I don't have to go off on you. I can be honest, because it's not really anger, maybe it's hurt or it's fear, or
and truth be told,
being honest about those feelings. So,
and truth be told, that has nothing to do with me.
Right.
That's her own development.
Right.
That's her own development.
Work I've been doing.
That's the work that she's doing for her.
Yeah.
So that as a result of working on her, I get a better version of her.
Yeah.
And likewise, by me working on myself, on my issues, right, I get to show up and be a better husband and a better father and everything else.
So that's a good question. Do you all feel like you get enough you time
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And I honestly don't know what Jay's answer was gonna be, but if you're asking me, no, I don't. And I've asked for a lot of it because I'm like, sometimes I want us to disconnect from doing work. And, to his point, he'll say, well, I love what I do. I love what I do also, but I love you more than what we do. And so for me, case in point today, I was trying to have, we kind of been at odds for a minute. And so today I was trying to have a real conversation and just, kind of reinforce how I, really feel, about us and everything that we have going on. And he walked in the store, got off the phone. I'm gonna call you back as soon as I finish. And so when stuff like that happens, it makes me feel like my conversation is not important. And even if that's not the intention, because I know where my heart is and what I'm feeling, it makes me feel a certain way. And I'm really a great communicator. So I try to communicate in a way that he receives it and doesn't do this. But what I notice is that depending on where we're located, at some point, because of other things in his life, no matter how hard I try, every conversation is like this. And I'm like, why are you defending? I'm just talking to you. You don't have to do that with me.
When was your last date night?
We haven't had one in 2 months.
Yeah.
So actually, and he knows this is a sore subject for me. We were celebrating my daughter's graduation. And the day before, I woke up and I said, I was on the phone with one of our friends and I said, and they asked, what are we doing today? I said, I want to take the sexiest man I know in the world out today. It's on me. I asked him, where you want to go eat? He said, Houston's. Okay. So, because you see the smile on his face, right?
No, I just.
You see the smile on his face?
So.
Because he has the biggest heart in the world, right?
It was.
He has the biggest heart in the world. And someone called us who have been going through something. And what does the person with the biggest heart in the world do? Invited him there.
Right. And,
I got a big heart one over here too. I know how I go.
That backfired. I mean, and so it didn't necessarily it backfired for what what she was trying to do for us. It ended up backfiring. I feel like some kind of way a blessing came because we were.
I don't, because
let me finish.
The bill was $300.
Let me finish. It was.
So I know. I'm still looking good.
Go ahead, Jay. Let him finish. Go ahead,
I mean, hopefully, I just feel like some kind of way, it was a blessing and we helped out, somewhat. Now, granted, it was that, we were eating in an expensive restaurant, but we didn't. It was just us.
But it was an expensive restaurant that I wanted to eat at for him.
Right. Let me say 2 quick things about that. One, Jay, from a woman's perspective, it sounds like you have a date night to make up for.
Absolutely.
You got a date night.
You got to own that, bro.
And it's yours to make up. Like you get to decide what night, like just like she woke up that day and was like, I want to take the sexiest man. I know. You get to decide when that's going to be and surprise the hell out of her and just do something really soon so she can make her smile. Just that's easy. But one other thing, one thing I learned, Dr. Cass, I do not, and he had to teach me this because I would do it in a heartbeat and we used to do it all the time. But I do not now have really serious conversations with this man over the phone. Like I wait until we are together, because anything, just like text, anything can be translated and miscommunicated in a text. Anything can be translated and miscommunicated in a phone conversation. And so I understand that your feelings were hurt, but just my 2 cents from my experience with a man, that it's more beneficial for me. And I can hear that you thought about it. You thought about your words. You were ready to share openly and intimately, and then you got cut off because he was moving and grooving on the phone. Well, he can't be moving and grooving if he's sitting right beside you in your face. And so that's just my 2 cents to offer.
I completely agree with that. It's only one issue, is that, you know, we travel from state to state. So when we're in the place that I told you we are, I don't have that time. Like, we don't get that time. And I don't feel like that time is made. When, you know, it's like when we're together, it's if we're doing the podcast or if we're in the car together. But other than that, I don't get that time. And so it has been a struggle. You know, and I try to make sure that I don't seem like I'm being selfish, because I don't ever want to do that, because I understand, I understand everything that he has, you know, happening, and I try to be as supportive as I can, but it gets to a point that it's like, hey, I really I don't want to see any friends. I don't want to do anything. I just want to be around you. And maybe, you know, like, I will tell you, it has gotten to the point that some of our relatives was like, you know what? Before this radio station start, you guys need to go away together. You guys need to do something for your relationship, because you're being pulled in every direction and you're not focusing on you, on you know, you guys. And so it's a conversation that we've gone back and forth with, and
So can I share something quickly? So Jay, I want to share this with you, but not with you personally, but for any men that are watching, right? So whenever we drop the ball on something, like, what we have to do as men, we got to pick it up. Right. The first thing we got to do is recognize, you know what? I own this. I dropped the ball on this. And then redeem ourselves. So in the redemption process, that could look like, so for brothers that might be watching who on fixed incomes, who have kids, if you got like blended families and you got kids, like the way that you can redeem yourself, I don't know like what the way she's wired. But I know from like Nikki and I, if I drop the ball on something, I could do something as simple as, let's take a walk together. Right? I don't even have to spend no money. Right? It can be, you know what? Let's just take a walk. Right? And we do walk together for physical fitness. We both exercise and all of that. Right? But it could be something as simple where you don't even have to spend no money.
That just did it for me right there.
For all of the brothers that's on fixed income, when you mess up, the first thing you got to do, you got to own, because you can't be no real man if you don't own your shortcomings. That's the difference between the boys and the men, right? Men own their stuff. So when we own it, we got to redeem it. And the way that we can redeem it is knowing what my significant other's love language is. It can be literally having, you know, let's say if I drop the ball and Nigel's here, planning a play date with him, with one of my family members.
Preach.
And order some food and just have all the lights turned off with some candles lit, right? Like, the way that you can redeem the discrepancy or the lack of discretion or the missed opportunity, right? The way you can redeem that is as creative as you want to be. You have to know what your significant other's love language is. Like, what would they appreciate? So some of that like may not resonate with somebody. Somebody might be like, you know what? Nah, I don't want to go on no walk. That ain't doing it for me. I'm just telling you what might work for somebody, right? So like for Nikki, if I can do that, right? If I dropped up, I mean, I don't mind. We go out and all of that, but at the same time, it can be something as simple as, even if we're just home fixing some popcorn. Hey, I know you like this on Netflix. I don't even like it, but let me just rub your feet, fix you some popcorn, right? Give you my undivided attention where I'm not on the phone. You have to figure out how to connect, right, when you're trying to repair any type of breach. And it's a good practice to have even when there is no dropping of the ball.
Well, you know what? I feel like I know for me, I will. It's not a problem of knowing that shit part. You know what I'm saying? It's no problem with manning up. Hey, you know what? I blew that. That was my fault. I'm running late. That was my fault. I thought something. I didn't communicate. That was my fault. I'm sorry. Right? But what I know in us having this conversation is, like, once I say that, it's like, all right, let's get back to it. And I didn't do the redemption part of it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I really do my best to really be accountable. You know, if it's something that I don't necessarily agree with, I'm not going to necessarily admit to because I don't agree. But
which is opposite from me, because once he shows me his point and shows me how I was wrong, then regardless if I agree with it or I disagree with it, because he showed me his point, I'm gonna be accountable and apologize for it.
Yeah.
And so I apologize a lot. I feel like I'm the apologize king around here. You know what I'm saying? But the redemption part, I think that, and just having this conversation is something I probably need to tighten up.
An opportunity.
And work on. I need to work on, because just like you said, like, I didn't fix that thing at Houston's. I didn't fix it. You know what I mean? And I didn't fix it. So I do understand that there is
an opportunity. We all have opportunities, right?
Yeah.
That you have an opportunity, and I think that's awesome, man, for you to recognize that and to say, you know what? I didn't fully redeem myself. I said I'm sorry, but with sorry, whenever anybody says sorry to me, what I always resonate is show me. If you sorry, show me.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I just wanted, and I'll let you all know, I think it's on I don't think it's on our end, but y'all are frozen a little bit for us, but we can still hear you. So
we've been going in. Can you still hear us?
Yeah, we can hear you great.
Fine.
It's just a little like you're, fragmented. And
it's been glitching because sometimes it'll spin both.
Okay. As long as, and I know we're getting, we could talk forever. But I just wanted to point out that I think, in addition to what Greg said about just really owning our stuff, and that works for both ways, right? It really does work for both of us. When we are in spaces, what I heard Cass say, when we are in spaces that make it difficult, whether it's workspace or environment space or people pulling on us, because I hear your heart, sis. My husband's heart is so big, and when he loves you hard and takes really good care of you. And so I've even had to, because I recognize what he does for other people and the work that he does is out of love and service to other people, I've had to temper my feelings and my thoughts and make sure that I communicate to him that I appreciate who he is. Because if he was somebody who did not care about other people, who was not of service to other people, who did not want to show love to other people, that would be a whole nother issue for me. Right. At least I know at his core, he is loving and of service to somebody. So that's something we can work through. Like me feeling like, our time on the weekend is getting pushed back a little bit or whatever, we can talk through that and I can give him an opportunity to redeem himself. Like, okay, so you better show me, later how much you appreciate me being understanding, that kind of thing. You can play with it a little bit, because at the end of the day, you're dealing with a good man. You know what I'm saying? That's from everything you said, you're dealing with a good man. So from that premise, now let's do the work that we have to do. And you need, and we need to communicate that we're not just irritated and nagging. We're not just upset with you and you're not just getting on my nerve. No, I really appreciate who you are to everybody. I really do. But there's only so many hours in a day, so many days in a week, so many weeks in a month. I need some of those. So what we gonna do about that? And work from there.
I apologize for
no, please.
So I feel like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like I do that all the time. Like I feel like I always tell him how much I appreciate him, how much I see what he's doing, how much I understand. And, I feel like I always try to push that narrative, because I don't want him to ever think that I'm not supportive. I think I'm going to end it with this, because I looked up and I'm like, oh my God, it's 9 o'clock. It's been a whole hour.
We've been talking, girl.
Right. I feel like, and please correct me if I'm wrong, that's one thing that I try to do. I just don't feel as though that, even though I do that, I still feel like it's like, okay, she's going to be here, so let me do everything I need to do for everybody else, and I'll get around to it. Like the responses I get is, okay, I'll figure it out. Like, I will say that because of some other things that had happened since, we were where we are now, I said, like, hey, I need some us time. Mm-hmm. And I know that I've said it at least for like a week. And I'm like, okay, how come you can do this and this, but you don't carve out that time? And so it really got to, because we don't argue. Like when I say we don't argue, we laugh most of the time. Mm-hmm. So if we're arguing, it's because it's a buildup. Mm-hmm. And once it's a buildup, then you have 2 Scorpios going like this. And it's not ever pretty for anybody, And, however, after we go here, then, like, for instance, today, I always try to bring it back and, explain, hey, I love you. I appreciate you. The reason why we were bumping heads is because this, that, or a third. But when I feel like I'm dismissed, it doesn't necessarily make me feel the best, Well,
I think Jay is getting it. I think he heard you and heard us, and I appreciate your honesty, because the truth of the matter is, anybody listening who is in a relationship is dealing with this, has dealt with it, or will at some point. You know what I'm saying? So I love and appreciate just how you're always transparent with you all's relationship. And tonight is no different. And I think, it's just a matter of continually doing the work. The last thing I'll say, I know we got to go, is the level of accountability. So maybe Jay, maybe it's not a counselor. I still think you could consider, it's a certain kind of counselor. Like it's somebody, maybe it's a brother, instead of somebody else, but perhaps having someone that you can respect, that hears you on a regular basis. But even if it's just couples, you all have done this work enough to know enough couples where maybe you just check in and have some accountability. Like I have a sister circle, and my sister circle, my inner sister circle of 3 sisters, they hold me accountable to, how are things going with you, and are you healthy, and are you contributing in a healthy way to your relationship? And I think all of us need that, whether it's a couple or a bro or a sis that continues to pour into you. so that you can continue to do some work, so that the seasons that happen, like Greg says this all the time, and maybe I should let you say it. Like, you know, one of the things he said over the course of our relationship is our good days outweigh our bad days. And, you know, and the idea that over time, you know, this is a season, like this just a season we're in. He's used that word. This is just the season that we're in. And so it's helped me to breathe. It's helped me to exhale and get through a rough patch, to just let it go. At some point, I got to let it go, you know, and it helps that we're both working at it. So,
absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Well said, baby. Well said. Right. She is such a good communicator. I tell you.
You know,
you are too.
It's been an hour and 7 minutes, and it's crazy because this was not anything that we were really
right. We
didn't touch anything. Like, to the point I was sitting there thinking, like, I wonder what they're doing Friday. We really, and I feel like every time we talk to you guys, that's what happens.
Right.
Wow.
The same thing happened before. So I know we actually, talking about schedule live, we need to really figure the schedule part out. Because we might have to, you know, help some loved ones, you know, and for her to call me and say, and we might need to help. Then, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, I'm not so. Wow. Cass will let you guys know. But we usually always, every time you guys are on with us, we usually come back because this tends to happen anyway. We just kind of get in a conversation, and then all the stuff that she had written down in her notes when she's looking down,
and then we text each other.
You know, sometimes we don't necessarily get to. But I love the fact that it just happens. It's really, you know, fluent, and it just kind of happens on its own. You know, you can't necessarily beat that. It's not scripted. You know, so you can't beat that.
We just got to come back. That's all. We just got to come back. On season 3, we just got to come back.
I know that Wednesdays are hard for you guys. So let's look for this Friday. If not, but I got to check with him because I know what he's talking about now. If not, the following Friday, next Friday. But I do want to say something because I believe that, you know, we are very positive, and I don't want anyone who watches this to think anything other than, you know, this is what real relationships are. They're not perfect. Yep. I let us in dirty drawers, you know, and we'll fight for him. But at the end of the day, none of us are perfect. We're working towards perfection. And I don't want to be a perfect person. I just want to be the perfect woman for him. Yeah. That's it. Can't know nothing else. You know, and so
if anybody looks at this and thinks anything other than how real and authentic a relationship is represented right now, then they haven't been in one.
Right.
They haven't been in a real relationship.
Right. If they're looking at this now and they've been in a real relationship, they're like, dang, they telling it. They are talking it for real.
What you gotta do, you gotta go to Real Relationships Facebook group.
Yeah.
Go to the
I'm a member.
Go to the, what is it, tools where all the videos are? No, go to the announcements. In the announcements is where we have housed all of our videos, our monthly sessions, and look at them.
Okay, got you. I will delete.
What I want to do, and I know we got to go. What I want to do is I want to make sure that Nikki and I follow up with you guys to make sure that you guys get a date night. So before we go, how soon can you guys get a date night? Is it 2 weeks? Is it 3 weeks? Is it 30 days? Because right out the gate, we're going to hold y'all accountable.
It'll be less than that. It'll be less than that.
Okay.
You know, yeah, and for real, because we have so many things going on now, because it used to happen pretty much on a regular basis. Date night was pretty much every night. And it's changed a tad bit. So no, it it won't be in the next 2 months. It'll be definitely a lot sooner than that.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah, definitely a lot
Well, we
sooner.
love you guys, man. Thank you for having us. We got to come back so that we can go through everything that y'all wanted to go through.
Yeah, how about we do that? How about we do that?
Listen, there's no mistake. Things happen how they supposed to happen.
For sure.
And whatever, and I don't know what the notes were because she take her own notes. I kind of just go off the cuff and
it went the way it was supposed to.
As authentic as possible, and I think that this was what was needed. Was needed for us, and it might have been needed for you guys and whoever is on here now live and is going to watch the the playback. It was probably needed. So you can get off your chest what you need to get off your chest later. But I feel like this was this was better than probably being.
Yep. Well, we're still here, y'all. I think it's their connection. Yeah, that was gone. And I'm sure they'll be back. But because it isn't our live, we will just see. We'll hang out and see if they're able to make it back.
So while we're waiting, I appreciate you, Nick.
Oh,
I appreciate you, baby.
I appreciate you too.
I got a cool wife, man.
I got a cool husband. Thank you.
Okay.
That was good.
Yeah, that was good. That was a nice,
we
robust
that was
dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
Not a monologue, but a dialogue.
Yeah. Between us and them.
Yeah.
So I think maybe, let's see. Yay. Thank you all. Thank you all.
Are they still on?
No. So it says a couple of folks. Adrian said, thank you for tonight. Great talk. And I joined the group. Yeah.
All right. And invite 5 people. Invite 5 people that you care about.
You just joined. No, he's serious. We are growing fast. Yeah. And we would love for you, people you love and care about. Please bring them on. Yeah. Y'all are nice. They said we so cute. That's hilarious.
Well, here, cheers to you guys. I'm going to finish my glass of wine tonight. I'm hoping that you enjoy yours. So here's to all of you guys.
And I'm scared to press leave, but if I press leave, you all might still be up here. That's my concern.
Go ahead and text her. Can you?
Okay. Thank you all. Please make sure you join the group so we can stay connected. That was